Welcome back to my Low Vision Awareness Month series. Alright, in this video, I'm going to talk about what kind of jobs low vision people have. So, let's get into it. Alright, so what kind of jobs do we have? Honestly, anything. Unless it has the word driver in it, like truck driver, school bus driver, Uber driver, delivery driver, any of that. Okay, then we probably can't have it because most of us can't drive. But other than that, we can really have any job out there. Honestly, I know of low vision people who, my mom, who was a preschool teacher for 30 years, I once had a vision teacher who also was low vision. I know of low vision students who are going to law school. My dream job is to do anything with disability activism. I'm thinking of going into special ed, but quite honestly, I don't know. I just know that disability activism is something that I am passionate about. But that's not the case for every low vision person out there. Honestly, some of us want to have a career that has to do with it because it's such a big part of our lives, and others just want to let that be completely separate and let their low vision be just a piece of who they are, but not be the part of their life that is so defining. We all take a different path. One of the biggest problems, though, is although we can have pretty much any job we want, it's actually getting the job. Although in the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, it says that you can't discriminate on an employee based on a disability, many employers still do. And I don't know if it's necessarily that they just don't want a disabled person working there, but a lot of times it's either the employer sees it as a liability, the employer doesn't know how to accommodate the person, or quite honestly, if you have two applicants, one is disabled and one is perfectly able-bodied, but they both have the same qualifications, or the disabled person even has more qualifications, the employer is just too scared to employ the disabled person because they're scared of what accommodations they might need to make, or in general just don't know how to work with this person because they'll have to adapt potentially how the job gets done. I know an example of this is my mom just recently switched jobs, and when she moved to her current job now, she had to fill out a bunch of ADA paperwork and get okayed by her eye doctor and all of that just to prove that she could still do the job. And it felt kind of embarrassing to her, and I know that. And for me, I just got a job more recently within the last year, and I know that that was definitely a big miscommunication between my bosses. The rule at my job is you have to be over 16 to use a knife. Great, I'm over 16. The problem was when one of my bosses found out about my vision, he didn't want me to be using the knife because he saw me as a liability. Whereas another one of my bosses had to tell this guy that they couldn't tell me that I couldn't do something. As long as I could do it, I can do it. There's no law saying that because of my vision, I can't. And for almost a month, that caused a lot of chaos of, am I allowed to do this? Am I not allowed to do this? When in reality, the ADA says that I am allowed to do it, but my bosses were saying I couldn't. So there's just not a whole lot of education to employers on how to have disabled employees and in general just how to work with them. Therefore, because of all of this, there is this statistic, that's a very hard word to say, that about 80% of all blind or visually impaired people are unemployed. And sadly, that doesn't surprise me, but I wish that we could change this. I know that there are several companies out there who do specifically try to hire just low vision people or just disabled people, but those companies are so few, and there's so much discrimination against disabled people within the workplace. So we really have to fight hard to get the jobs that we want. But in reality, it's very important for all of society to know that as low vision people, we really can have whatever job we want, because people have to remember that if we're applying for a job, we most likely know that we can do it. We won't apply for a job that we know we visually won't be able to do. We might have to do it a different way, we might have to adapt some things, but we will get the job done. So there you go. That's the answer to that question. I know this was pretty short, but really, we can have any job we want, with the exception of a driver. It just is what it is. I hope you've enjoyed this entire series, this entire month. I hope you've learned a lot. I know I've had so much fun making all these videos, and have a good rest of your day.